Hello everyone, Ren from Hallowed Be Thy Game here. And if you're a fan of RPGs and the Vita, then make sure to subscribe for more Vita RPG content. Also, if you are a fan of RPGs in general and discussions on the games that we all know and love, then you definitely found a friend in this channel. I post at least once a week on topics from pickup videos, new releases, to just chatting about the games that have reached Hallowed status in my heart. So thank you so much for watching. And today, it is my absolute pleasure to share with you the PS Vita dock review. Yes, you heard me correctly, a dock for your PS Vita. I want to begin by giving the biggest of thank yous to Crash Gaming over on YouTube. A link to his channel can be found down in the description. Full disclosure though, he did send me this Vita dock for review, but there are no other incentives for this review, and all the thoughts you see here today are my own. Also, I want to give the biggest of shout outs to Danik for letting me borrow your special Vita for review as well. You are an incredible friend and your generosity is very much appreciated. Now we're going to look at all you need to get started with your own PS Vita dock, the pros and cons of the product, and also the passionate group of fans behind this amazing item. So without further ado, let's check it out. The Vita dock works extremely similar to the Nintendo Switch. Now to begin, you can either use the Vita itself or a PS4 controller as a Bluetooth connection. You're able to do this by just having a hacked Vita in general and making sure you download the right plugins for it. Setting up the PS4 controller is a very simple process, but for today's review, I preferred using the PS Vita as kind of a makeshift Wii U controller. This is a real plus for me as I truly found myself enjoying the options to either play with the Vita and the touchscreen capabilities and also stream the gameplay to the TV. Now the only downside to playing with the Vita is that you do have to have it plugged into the dock itself. Now perhaps this is a good time to state that the dock will utilize the charging cable from the PS Vita, and even though it will not show the charging icon in the corner, it is in fact slowly charging your Vita. Really cool feature, and even during game times, it will not deplete your Vita's battery, but be able to keep up to charge it faster than you can consume the battery. I really love that it did this. Now with the Bluetooth PS4 controller setup, I am very excited to tell you that there is very little to no input delay in the use of the controls on the Vita, whether I'm using the PS4 controller or the Vita itself as the makeshift Wii U controller. The snappy and responsive controls was honestly the only thing I was really curious about as to how it would work. Now I just want to be clear that I game almost exclusively with RPGs, Metroidvanias, and action RPGs, but playing something like a fighter, you may personally notice more input delay than I did. Now as for getting the Vita dock set up and ready to go, Crash Gaming has already done all the legwork for us, and a link to his video guide is in the description. Though I'm not going to cover the two mods that you need to install on your hacked Vita here, I do want to let you know that Crash Gaming has already got you covered. His guide is very intuitive and easy to follow. Heck, if I was able to do it, anybody could do it. I had literally no issue in being able to set up the Vita in just a few minutes. Now I just want to cover the major points of how to set up your device, and once you have all the software and mods installed. So the parts you will need to get your Vita dock to work is one HDMI cable, a Vita charging cable, a 5V 2.5 amp Raspberry Pi 3B+ power supply adapter, and yes, a link to that is in the description. Now you could potentially use an older Android cell phone charging cable, but again, just to make sure, use the recommended specs. And lastly, one hacked PS Vita. Now with this, you will essentially have yourself a very souped up version of a PS TV. Really, in so many ways, I prefer this over the Nintendo Switch dock, as now you have that custom home screen theme with that blissfully peaceful jingle playing on your TV. Now I want to first state that I am new to the Vita Island community and I absolutely love it here. I was leery at first of the idea of having to use a hacked Vita, but for those of you who have reservations about using one, just know that you don't have to download games illegally on it, obviously. You can simply just use it to play your physical games on the TV, but just don't connect to the internet. Now, once you're all set and streaming to the TV, the video should work instantly for you as long as you have the correct mods installed. However, there will be an additional step to get the sound to play through your TV. Just go to your Bluetooth section on the PS Vita and make sure you have enabled the Raspberry Pi device. Doing this will make the audio play on your TV, and now you are all set to go. Though it is an extra step, it is by no means complicated. I just want to reiterate that if you are at all intimidated by any part of this process, installing the mods, or getting anything started, then I want to reassure you that Crash Gaming's guide in the video description will walk you through the entire process from start to finish. Now, with this DIY project, there is an incredible amount of customization available to you. As you may have noticed, the only technical part of this entire Vita dock you need is the Raspberry Pi device and all the other cables. So in essence, this epic claptrap is just here for style and flair. I love Crash Gaming's modifications to this controller holder to take it to the next level and make this a top tier Vita dock. For those of you out there with a DIY side, then the possibilities are endless for customizing your own PS Vita dock. You can see where he just fabricated the bottom of the controller holder to allow the Vita charging cable to slip through. This is such a simple and epic change that really stands out in your game room. If you have been around the channel for a while, then you will know I am a gamer and a collector, so having something like this in the game room just makes for a wonderful conversation piece. Now, a lot of people out there watching this may already have a PS TV, and they may be curious as to what the Vita dock can do that the PS TV can't. I'll be upfront, I use my PS TV all the time and I love it. In fact, the only two complaints I have about my PS TV is that I game mainly on the Vita handheld, and for me personally, it is annoying to transfer saves between the PS TV and the Vita. The only other annoyance I have with the PS TV is as a content creator, and it's a small one. The PS TV comes with a baseline of HDCP in the video signal. It's easy to fix, but it's just obnoxious to have to add in a simple HDMI splitter to remove the HDMI copyright protection that's on it. Again, this is really only something that is annoying if you're wanting to capture footage, but for being able to share our love of games together is one of the major reasons why I do any of this. The Vita dock removes the need for this extra step. Now, this brings me to one of the absolute best and unmatched qualities of the Vita dock. As a gamer and a content creator, you literally cannot top the unmatched potential of the Hacked Vita dock combo. Having the ability to plug the Vita dock HDMI signal into my Elgato HD60S essentially means that I have the ability to stream and record all Vita game footage, period. If there's a plug-in for it, then you can play it on your TV. If there is a plug-in for it, then you can stream and record it. In my humble opinion, there is no better value for anyone who is a Vita content creator than this tag team. Having virtually the entire library of the Vita at your fingertips was already an unbelievable concept with a hacked Vita. But now it's just jaw-dropping that you have the ability to play, review, and stream everything and record it. I will leave the philosophical discussion to the comments as to whether this is something you should do or not. For me personally, I would only ever do this for games that I own, but something to keep in mind is that with the squirrely nature of Sony and their online store, and the insane price gouging of scalpers in today's retro gaming market, then this is something to keep into account going forward. I think this is going to be a long-term solution in the coming years for Vita content creators, as being able to play many of these games after the store closes, because it would just be an astronomical financial investment that will not benefit developers or their studios in the slightest by having to deal with scalpers. However, I'll leave the debate to you all in the comments. Crash Gaming and his friends, Madi, Silent Night, Silo, and Fruit Snacks, have shown what the absolute best of the Vita community can do. Sony abandoned the PS Vita and they left it high and dry, but thanks to Vita Islanders such as Crash and his friends, now the Vita is experiencing something akin to the absolute best that the retro gaming community can offer. Where Sony failed, these fans have stepped up to the plate to help broaden the horizons of one of the greatest handhelds ever created. Playing this Vita dock has been such a wonderful experience, but also a bittersweet one. The Vita had so much potential that could have been easily captured if Sony had not tucked its tail between its legs and gave up on it so fast. As an RPG gamer, there is no denying that the PS Vita is a titan of gaming, and in my humble opinion, my favorite handheld console. It has stolen my heart, and thanks to the efforts of Crash Gaming and so many others like him, we now have the ability to share the passion and love with so many others through the Vita dock's functionality. There are some initial hurdles in the beginning if you are new to setting up a hacked Vita, but again, all the heavy lifting has been done in an easy to follow tutorial. So there you have it. There's my thoughts on the PS Vita dock. Honestly, too much awesome and power in a single device. But what do you think? Is this something you would consider picking up? Let me know down in the comments. I'd love to see what other Vita Islanders in the community think of this creation. Like this video if you liked it, subscribe and hit that notification bell so we can keep hanging out in the future. And until then, I'll see you all next time.